1,500 crores was a number that I quoted, right? A true inspiration of somebody who has lived and delivered what business possibilities are. And a large portion of what he accomplished again was attributable to packaging. I would not say flexo. Packaging that was again very heartening to see. So with that, I think we switch gears, and the intention of these breakout sessions was possibly to get a little more micro on certain things, and therefore we gathered here to look at what flexo means for labels. And labels is a subset of what flexo printing can do. As several of you are aware, there are other parallel sessions happening on flexible packaging, carton packaging and stuff like that. Labels is just a portion of what can happen on the flexo perspective, and we're here to just delve a little bit around history, nuances, and the possibilities that labels have to offer in the future. My name is Manoj. I am currently with Avery Dennison. I manage sales and technical services for Avery Dennison. Been with them for the last 7 years, relatively new to the flexo side of things, but have a decent understanding of how B2B ecosystems operate and other industries operate. So I hope I'm able to add some flavor to this conversation. So let me welcome our first panelist that we have. Nothing is possible without the brand saying yes to us, right? So we all do it for the brand, we all do it for the consumer. So the next panelist I would like to welcome on he has a range of presses that they provide to the ecosystem. Thank you, Nagaraj, for joining the discussion today. So we also would like to invite the next panelist, JC, very familiar. You've seen him on stage yesterday. I call him Rachit Ravindran, right? So JC is again a veteran, 30 plus years. Thank you for agreeing to be on the panel. And we have Stephanie. Stephanie is with Tessa Tapes, very important consumable for this print industry, as all of you would know. And Stephanie also brings in years and years of experience on flexo. I think sets the stage in terms of what labels are. We just opened up our minds to say that labels is just not one kind of decoration transfer. These are multiple kinds of decoration transfer that is possible. Amongst the multiple kinds of decoration transfer that is possible, pressure sensitive labels possibly occupy the mind share in terms of a wide range of applications that it can solve. So let me switch gears to the panelists now and kind of get their perspectives on what has evolved in the flexo space from a labels perspective, right? So Parul, we want to start with the brand first, right? And anything that we do from a technology perspective has to meet the brand's requirements. So if you can help us understand what are some of the aspects that brands wouldn't compromise when a new technology was introduced. What are the aspects that the brands wouldn't compromise when a new print technology is presented to them? Can you share what delighted you the most when flexo Flexo was offered as a decoration technology maybe 5, 7, 10 years before. What things got solved, what things continue to be concerns according to the brand, according to the business.
So as a brand, basically we won't want to compromise anything on the technology per se when new things is being offered us. We don't want our packs to be different. We want that accuracy and the shelf appeal to be constant across the different run sizes. We don't, the prime most important thing for a brand is whatever the technology comes, we want the harmonization and the consistency to be maintained. We don't want a technology, we want the technology to work flawlessly on different substrates. As the market is evolving, we know rigid packaging, we are all undergoing a lot of PCR, EPR regulations and all that. So a lot of change and transformation is happening on the label substrates also to match the recyclability of the materials. So we want the technology to adapt to the new label substrates. That's the prime most requirement. We want that speed and operational efficiency to be maintained. There's a lot of automation happening at brand end also. We are changing the speed of the machine, we are gearing up. So we want that labels to work efficiently along with our requirement. We would want the regulatory and the statutory compliance to be maintained. We all know there's a lot of things which is going on the ink regulations and all that. We want that to be food safety norms to be maintained. We don't want a migration. These are the basic elements what we do. For surely brand today in the current scenario economy is heading and what kind of headwinds are being faced by the raw materials categories and things. What kind of geopolitical situation we are into. Uncertainty, of course, the brand want that things to be constant and we don't want to hit our PMLs by giving any technology or anything which hits the roof. So cost efficiency still lies a prime most important thing. Being apart from the procurement challenge from the brand, from the finance, please give us an option and ESG goal targets. As a global organization, we still have our own internal and external targets to meet. So we want that to be remaining. So
Perfect.
that's something which we want.
Perfect. So that's the brand voice, ladies and gentlemen in the room. She covered a lot of things in what she said. She said substrates, she said inks, coatings, compliance, regulation, sustainability, but beware, we want the best cost. Right? So you can do everything that she asked, but cost is an important parameter. So very clear message that the brand is receptive to several other things, and Flexo is looked upon as dominant technology from a print perspective, but they have to also cater to the other things that we spoke about. Brilliant. I think whatever you said, Parul, I believe the answer lies with the other panelists, right? Whatever you asked for from the brand in terms of consistency of print, in terms of speeds, in terms of turnaround time, sustainability is definitely available with one of the panelists in the way they share their perspective. So I want to go to Nagaraj and Nagaraj ask you that Flexo as a technology seems to have come quite some distance, right? In the last 10, 15 years, right? What are your early memories of this technology? What have we solved? What is pending to get solved? And you may answer it from a press perspective.
In my college days, I see Flexo is only a paperback printer. I mean, 25 years ago or 30 years ago. I mean, if you see in the last 15, 10 years, the entire, gamut has been changed. Single machine for multi-substrate. And automation, the quality, what you get with other technologies like Flexo compared to gravure or offset. It gives very closer competition in that. So nowadays, Flexo is a press where you can match all other printing technologies.
Yeah.
in perspective of packaging industry.
Yeah, perfect. So all the challenges that we had from a print consistency and quality are almost answered with the developments that have happened in the last few years. There's more to be done, but the initial apprehensions have been taken care. So JC, what are your early memories from a pre-press perspective?
I think Flexo started getting traction about a couple of decades back. And if you go back to those days, the quality of print was nowhere close to offset or gravure. But over the years with one change which has sort of taken Flexo to the next level. And this happened, I think, yeah, the CTP was probably introduced, I think, way back in 2000. So when the CTP technology came, we had actually a better control of making better plates with predictable dots on the plate. I mean, that was the biggest challenge. I mean, having a predictable, printable dot reproduced on the plate was the biggest challenge. So with CTP, we were able to do that, and also we could have consistency in the plate. Now, the other major changes, I would say, is in 2010, if I remember right, the flat top technology was introduced. I mean, that was a game changer. The flat top dot technology with the surface screening is basically we add some patterns on the solid areas to improve the ink transferability. So that was a game changer, and I guess with this the quality of Flexo catapulted to a level where we could actually compete, especially in the flexible packaging, we could compete with Gravure.
Yeah.
And the other changes I've seen over the years is the softwares. I mean, there's so much of development happening with the editing softwares where we could find answers for inherent flexo problems like heavy dot gains. I mean, these issues are part of Flexo. I mean, it comes along with Flexo. Issues like your registration problem, your dot gain problems. So with the advancements in the software, we could overcome these challenges. I think that was, again, a major contributor to the quality shift that we see in Flexo today. Apart from that, I think the screening technology. In fact, of late, what I've seen is we have something called as the digitally modified screen. So here we are actually reproducing dots which is close to 350 LPI. I mean, this is possible only in Flexo. I mean, a lot of people have tried doing this in offset and gravure, but they have failed miserably. But in Flexo, we've been able to reproduce 350 LPI, and this looks more like a continuous tone, more like a digital print. And also another major advantage or developments in the recent years is the combination of FM screening and AM screening. So the huge challenge in Flexo was printing a fade to zero. And with the combination of both these screenings, we have overcome this challenge.
Perfect. So plates, softwares, screens, everything have evolved significantly in this journey that this industry has seen in the last 10 years. Brilliant. Beautiful to know that. Srinivasji, RM side, raw material side, right? Inks, coatings, very important for us to deliver the final visual effect that is required for the brand and the consumer. So what developments have you seen which catapulted this journey for us in Flexo?
Okay, from inks and coatings perspective, if you look at earlier trends of Flexo, it was primarily with water-based inks. And then since last 20 years, we have seen a trend of curing technology evolving, UV coming into the picture. Of course, UV offers superior print performance in terms of color vibrancy, faster curing, speeds. So UV has an edge over water-based for sure. And also with growing energy costs, all that. So LED has evolved as a new trend. So the curing technology, again, there's also, we see a shift from UV to LED now. So there's a transition, right? Not just that, as people have LED presses and also the old conventional mercury curing lamps, then it is more challenging for ink and coating suppliers that you need to fit in one system which cures both an LED as well as
Yeah,
mercury.
yeah,
So I think we have seen a journey as the trends moved, as the technology evolved. We as ink and coating supplier
yeah,
were able to offer these technologies to our printers
yeah.
and also help them achieve consistent quality so that they get the optimum print results.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All in the line of speed, more productivity, and visually
Energy
appealing,
savings.
energy saving, and more colors
Yeah.
that are available. Brilliant. Thank you. Stephanie, do you have anything to share from a tapes perspective? What recent developments that really shaped this flexo industry?
Okay, actually when we talk about the adoptions of this flexo-in-label printing, what I want to highlight here is a lot of printers that overlook of plate mounting tape. They focus on the ink, anti-loxes, substrate, press. Some of them they really overlook on this. Actually, plate mounting tape play a very important role in to achieve high printing quality. So the challenges that normally the printers face is like mounting, demounting, plate lifting, or printing defects. So I would say that the selections of the plate, the tape is very important, and printers should have the kind of knowledge to understand, to evaluate the right tapes for their printing. For example, tapes now we have this kind of different design, the constructions, the core constructions, and the adhesive package as well, and also the hardness, yeah. So all this come into the pictures. Beside this, I also want to emphasize one thing is very important is the application techniques. So this is always, sometimes the printers are overlooked, and the right SOP, the best practice, actually really help to improve the entire process and also to achieve a high print quality, yeah. And I would say that my recommendations to the printers also, even though we are a tape supplier, we try our very best to innovate the products. At the same time, we need the cooperation for the printers also to do the right things. And also the right things, we believe that if you do the right things, you eliminate a lot of wastage, and also you can achieve the printing level to the next level, yeah, the good price.
Perfect. So it's a good segue to what we want to talk next, which is nuances, right? What we heard from the most experienced people on the panel is that in every single element of the label ecosystem, there seems to be an evolution in technology that has happened in the last 10, 15 years. Presses have become more faster, presses have become more automated, presses help you in increasing the productivity of the converter. The pre-press situations have dramatically improved to improve the dot K and to improve the kind of transfers that happen. Inks and coatings have evolved thoroughly from water-based to UV and LED to give you the possibilities there. And like Stephanie mentioned, tapes is not something that we can ignore. With the right selection of the tape, you can get the best kind of quality. To me, it seems like an orchestra, right? Everything has to be in sync for you to produce a perfectly good quality print job which the brand will get delighted about. So that is the focus possibly for the next set of questions that I have for the panel. And I want to start with you, Jay, this time and ask you, what are a couple of things that you would call out as precautions or proactive measures that the converters should be really mindful when in the pre-press stage for them to get the right quality output that they desire? And how does that interface with the press, if at all or not, or any other interfaces that you want them to be aware of?
So everything starts with the artwork. I mean, the biggest challenge in the industry, what we have today, is the format of the artworks that we receive. So I would recommend to have all the inputs in the form of a PDF instead of working on native files. Because when you're working on native files at the time of conversion, there could be errors if there is a compatibility issue with the software. The next would be the resolution of the file. I mean, especially with high-end graphics, we would recommend a resolution of 300 to 400 dpi. I mean, I have a lot of files coming in where they say it is 300 dpi, but what they do is they just download an image from the internet which is 72 dpi, and obviously when you download those files are huge, and you can still compress it and make it 300 dpi, but then it is not going to alter the quality of the image. So you'll have to be mindful, especially the designers, they have to be mindful when they do this. The next is coming to the actual elements and the artwork. There are certain things which we definitely need to avoid. One is having too small positive or negative fonts. We will have printable challenges on the press. So especially with the negative text, we have to keep it as bold as possible, and with the positive text is as thin as possible. So even if there is a slight gain on the press, it is not going to distort the font. Apart from that, as I said earlier, the compensation for the dot gain compensation, I mean, the curve has to be applied. This is one place where a lot of printers have this misconception that, okay, I can keep changing the analoxes and nothing is going to happen. I mean, it doesn't work that way. I mean, the dot gain that you see on the press is just not a mechanical issue. It is also depending on the analogs you use. Say, for example, if you're trying to print a 150 LPI screen ruling, and what we recommend is always go with a 1:8 time. So it's something like 1,200 LPI analogs you're supposed to use if you want to print a 150 LPI screen ruling. But I have customers who say, no, why? I want to use a 600 or 700 LPI. Now, over there, obviously, you're transferring more amount of ink to the plate, and that is going to create bridging of dots. And also that will lead to dot gain. So the compensation curve that we apply on the plate is based on certain parameters that we derive from the fingerprint. So there should not be any changes after that. This is very, very important thing that a lot of printers have to keep in mind. And the color management. See, the whole pre-press is done based on the data that we get from the fingerprint. So the color management should be very accurate, and if there is any errors or deviation on that, that will definitely show up in the final print. The next is obviously the standardization of the plate. We should make sure that the uniformity of the plate, the thickness uniformity of the plate and the dimensional stability of the plate has to be maintained. And also the right size of dot has to be anchored on the plate every single time.
Yeah. So you said it very nicely that it's just not, the starting point is a good design in PDF format with a high resolution. You don't want to really blow up the image and make it a high resolution, to get that there. And then the nuance is how does that interact with the analogs library that you have, so that you're able to, just having a good plate designed is not enough to give you a good quality print job. There is an interaction that happens between the way the plates are designed and the analogs are there for you to get a good quality output. So good reminder there, and I think he spoke about a few things that as converters we should recognize as what is important interplay between plates and analogs and stuff like that. So on the similar front, Srinivas, the question is about inks, substrates, and the speed, right? So what choices, although the pre-press process, print machine specifications, operator skill are extremely important to produce a good quality print job, there is absolutely a very important role, I think, raw materials play directly to produce a good quality print job, right? So what are the possibilities there, and what nuances we need to be mindful of when you have to produce a good quality print job?
To produce best print quality, of course, consistency of ink is very important. Whether one uses water-based ink or LED ink, consistency is a must. Okay. So, of course, in order to achieve this, we as a multinational company, I think, invested on taking care of our controls, even with the very slightest variations. In fact, we have even invested on a raw material screening lab so that we offer the best of the consistent products to the market. Besides this, so other than the consistency in the print quality, whether it is different technology, okay, evolving raw material, I would say regulatory changes has become a bit of a challenge. I think every country is coming up with their own regulations these days. That has become a bit of a challenge. I think many of you know that there's this German ink ordinance which is coming into effect from 1st of January, which means any labels that are exported to Germany, for that instance, need to qualify or comply to these regulations. So when we change these, or when we see these regulatory changes, for us as raw material or ink and coating suppliers, it becomes a bit challenge that we have to again go to the customer, ask them to approve or validate. Sometimes these processes are time consuming, but then we'll have to ensure that compliance is met. We don't see these as challenges. We see this as opportunities and educate customers, share the knowledge with them on the exclusion materials, work with our raw material suppliers closely, and then ensure that we come up with a consistent quality that offers good prints.
Yeah.
So this is how I think in order to achieve print quality, I think there are several challenges we do face, not only in terms of technology, but also growing regulatory changes that are happening in the market.
Yeah.
But our job is, work with printers and offer them best quality and consistent inks for them to print.
Yeah. So as this complicated journey around RM continues, right, compliance requirements, color fastness and other things, substrate selection is also very, very important. And as we've discussed in the initial part of the panel, this is a technology that is very versatile, so it can handle many different substrates. There are a lot of developments happening on the substrate side as well in terms of coatings and functionalities that the coatings can offer, and that compatibility with inks become a very important criteria for us to be aware of, for us to produce a good quality job. By the way, when we do all this, I think we cannot ignore tapes, right? You need the best kind of tape possible for us to get to what we want to. So what's your reflections on that, Stephanie?
Yeah, thank you, Mano. From tape perspective, I would say that foam tape is very important, okay, to drive high print quality. And the foam itself, actually the quality of the foam. So just for your information, that a good foam that actually you can compress and you can be returned to the original thickness. That's enable for the ink to transfer smoothly for long run, even though for short run. Yeah, this is what we want to achieve in entire printing process, right? So a good foam also can help to support reducing of the bouncing. So bouncing is a very common phenomena or challenges that we have in flexo printing. So if you use the right foam, then you can help to reduce bouncing and also try to solve some of the printing effects like dot gain. I mean, it's very common in flexo, especially for those toning job, and also pinholing. Yeah. So all this come together. Of course, we need a very high strength ink. We need a good plate ink transfer, and you also need a very good foam, the plate tape, to ensure all these to achieve a very high print quality. Yeah. So yeah, this is the one I want to share.
Beautiful. So Nagaraj, I didn't want to leave you without answering this question. While all this is happening, right, what aspects of the press should the printer recognize as the most important ones for them to have minimum wastage and maximum output? What aspects of the press the printer should be mindful of?
The printer should take care of each and every element, from prepress, analogs, substrate, inks, drying, and wastage. I mean, in this process, from the machine side, the automation is most important. It should be servo driven and presets of each and every element. This is the most important thing where it gives you a very good print
Yeah.
with a low wastage.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect. So the point that the panelists are trying to make is that there are many things that need to be balanced for us to produce a good quality print job. We did speak about it, but I think there is a lot more to absorb and learn, and this is an evolving situation, be it inks, be it substrates, be it the dot gains and the compromises that we make there, be it the speeds that we operate. So it is continuous education, and it is being aware of what's happening around in the ecosystem that will help us produce the right quality jobs. And you have all the experts here. Do catch them in your networking time and understand a little more about these interactions and interplays that they're talking about. Okay. So we switch gears. We saw the Flexo has evolved from where it was to where it is now. A lot more is possible. We also kind of got a flavor of what are the balances that one needs to be mindful of to produce a consistent quality print job. Let's touch a little bit on the possibilities for the future. What does it store from the panelists' perspective? And again, like always, we should start with Parul, you first. Labels are the best choice for rigid packaging, as it has been established over the years. There are a lot of things changing from a rigid packaging perspective, correct? So just present to us your perspective around that and what kind of opportunities it may offer for labels with the changes that you're seeing in the rigid packaging and possibly the consumer behavior, right? Is rigid packaging going to be dominant? Just share your perspectives around that.
So, considering the shift the rigid category is going currently and what kind of labels we look on, I think the primemost challenge as a brand, what we are also facing today, is the shift towards the sustainability. If we see the rigids are moving towards the recyclability, so we don't want that labels to be a barrier to the technology. We want it to be a part of the process. We want it to be integrated. So first primemost thing as a brand, and maybe not a brand, the industry and the evolving trends, it is a primemost challenge what I'm seeing currently. Second thing is rigid category is rapidly moving towards mono material. So it would be the right set if we have the label substrate in line with them and it becomes part of the one material category. So that would be a good move and the kind of shift on the category. Again, the brand is evolving, the kind of challenge we have, the kind of competition everyone is facing is to get faster turnaround, to be new on the shelf, to be more appealable. The rigid category on the per se, now the bottles or anything on the platform is just not the plain bottles and the things. So a lot of trend shift is happening. We have a different surface finishes, we have a different shapes. So we want that labels to be adaptable on that. So if I want my bottles to be rounder kind of a things, want to have that texture finish on my bottle, I want that label to be adhered to it. So that's one thing. I want that label to have that mark and the shelf appeal on the something so that my consumer has a first look and the look around on what I get as a premiumness to the pack. Because a lot of shift is happening on those side of for the rigid category also.
So
now
go ahead, finish after.
So now it's just not that bottles being bottles. They are setting the new heights of the packaging standards, what we are seeing now.
Yeah. So beautiful. I think it's very nice to hear that perspective about rigid packaging becoming more recycle material oriented, more mono material oriented, right? So at the end of the day, it's going to remain a plastic, right? So are you suggesting that we will see a shift towards filmic labels a lot more in the future because there are still a lot of paper labels being used for rigid packaging? So
Yeah,
are you
so
sensing that shift?
That could be a good move. Wash off labels could be there. Matlab, we want something that adhesive don't want to be a barrier of the technology. We want it to be a part of the process.
Yeah. So we did some work, and it's not bragging here, but design for recycling is a very important aspect of how labels can be pivotal in the future. It could be any technology. But when you're designing a product for recycling, and if the design engineers are knowledgeable and educated about what raw material choices that they need to make, I think that's going to help solve a lot of the problem. Flexo is going to remain there, but what kind of decoration technology is going to dominate when sustainability becomes a lot more important, and when recycled material increases in the bottle content, when the surface finish changes, what label technology fits in there is a choice that the industry can help you with, and as a converter you need to be very, very careful in making the right choice. So thank you for that. And what more do you expect from labels, Parul, beyond just being a transporter of color, brand image? What more do you expect
I
from
think
labels?
it's altogether a new thing which now the category is seeing. We want that to be the shelf appeal. What I said, it's like it's important for that pack to stand out. So the printing technology, the substrate. Now, if you see, the shift is already starting. People are even seeing label-less packs on the. If we go to the European market, people have started. But we don't want that. But as an India market and as kind of category we are into, we want that pack to evolve. We want that shelf appearance to be more better, and it's become a part of the packaging evolution which is going around on the technology.
Perfect. Thank you for that. JC, what next from a pre-press perspective? What are the possibilities there?
In terms of pre-press, are you talking about the what's next in the labels?
What next in labels? Yes, and how can pre-press aid that journey? What next on labels is okay.
Yeah, I mean, my focus will definitely be on the pre-press part of it. As I said earlier, understanding the basics of the design and how we can replicate that design on the press. I mean, everything starts from there. So there should be a clear understanding between the brand owners and the pre-press house as well as the printer. I mean, unless and until all three of us are aligned, there's no way that we can actually have any success when it comes to the final output. So the future, again, as far as I'm concerned, like yesterday what I spoke about ECG, that would be something, would be a game changer, but the adaptability again depends on a lot of standardization process, which the industry has to gear up to. I mean, there's no way that the industry can run away from it. Mr. Manish was questioning me yesterday, but it will become a reality, sir. I mean, considering the fast rollout time, like what Parul was saying, of the products, and we have the sustainability goals on one side, we have cost reduction on the other side. So we can't shy away from adopting ECG, that is for sure. It's only the question of time. And it is definitely going to happen first in the label industry, because here I see it is much more easier when it comes to standardization. It is much more easier to adopt that in the labels than flexibles, because there we have the challenge of handling inks. Yes, sir. Yeah. So the complexity of handling solvent-based inks, I mean, that's a huge challenge. So it is definitely going to happen, and that's coming in the near future. And
Perfect.
also, what I would also envision is the focus should shift from just having embellishments on the labels. I mean, embellishments is definitely going to enhance the aesthetic look of the labels, but then I think the future focus is going to be on how to make these labels tamper-proof or anti-counterfeit.
Well
We are
said.
basically making the labels more functional.
Well said.
Yeah. So I think Parul would definitely agree to that. Yeah.
I think in the morning only we had a huge discussion around. So I think as a brand we are still facing this challenge. Are the consumer perceiving that counterfeit solutions what we are putting on the pack? Matlab, that's something we are still struggling and figuring out, because currently if we see as a market, lot of packs are, matlab, it's just not us, it's what every brand who are facing the struggle on the counterfeits. And but still we are not able to get on to the on cost what we are proposing to the business on that. Are it the solutions being there? Are it the replication being generated so easily? So we are also still on the phase of getting this notified and challenged in our own internal system. I think we had a huge, matlab in the morning itself, we had a huge discussion on this.
Yeah.
Like what Mr. Manoj, I don't know whether he's here. I mean, your insight on this whole security and to feed solutions, I mean, that's something which was really enlightening. And unless and until the entire Flexo fraternity, unless and until they adopt this, trust me, it is only going to be a paisa to paisa game. It's like, if you want to add value and if you want to buy something at 1 paisa and sell it at 10 paisa, then definitely, yes, you need to do something different.
One took a 4 versus one took
Exactly.
a 10.
To be honestly, when we give that proposal as a procurement to our business, the answer come, is it not replicable? Can you guarantee me that? So, yeah, yeah. Yeah, agree.
Yeah, but it's the time. It's
It,
yeah. Yeah. Barrier. Yeah. Delay the inter. Yeah. Correct.
Sir, as a brand, we also create a pathway of the brands matlab, to our products. What kind of solutions as a packaging we are giving. And it's just not the label, to be honestly, it's across the portfolio. If I take one of my brand, it would be across the platform. What challenge I could do more towards the rigid side, what challenge I could produce more towards the flexible side. So I think we also create a trajectory, but the solutions every time we give, of course, there's an on cost to it, but we also get the counterfeit challenge from the business. We had already given this much. Will it suffice?
Yeah.
So, Malab, it's a journey what we are also undergoing, and I think industry is also undergoing.
No, but that understanding is very important that if the expectation is
Yeah.
it cannot be replicated, that's not the right expectation, right?
But
We
that's
can
the
create
challenge
barriers.
currently the industry is also facing as a brand because of the cost
Yeah.
parameters.
Yeah. Perfect. So
Yeah, I just have two more
finish.
things
Yeah.
to talk about.
Yeah.
See, with this digital age kicking in, I mean, the demand for flexible printed circuit boards is going to be on the rise. And with all the benefits that Flexo has to offer, I think this would be the most preferred process of printing. And trust me, this is going to be the next revolution in this industry. Yeah, packaging labels and all that is there, but the next biggest explosion in this industry is going to be printed circuit boards. So, screen and gravure, yeah. But then it is going to move to Flexo. Because again, over there, we are talking about runs becoming shorter and shorter because these gadgets are going to get more and more personalized.
Yeah.
So things are going to change, and this is what the industry should look forward to.
Yeah.
And the last, but not the least, how to interface the printed label with the digital world.
Yeah.
So we are talking about the integrating it with AR and VR.
Yeah.
I mean, it's again, Parul, for you over here, it's having a better customer engagement.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be again the next future. I mean, that it's going to help in two ways. One is the customer engagement, and the second is, as Mr. Manoj was saying, it gives some amount of security on the labels because you're also authenticating the label as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is what we have to look forward to.
So in my mind, the possibilities are immense from what labels can bring to the table. It is not a stationary, standalone piece of a print that is available on rigid packaging. It can do a lot more. More functionality, absolutely yes. More consumer engagement, absolutely yes. More innovative forms of how the label can be presented, absolutely yes. The possibilities are just immense. But the starting point is to understand the problem statement that the brand is trying to tackle. If the brand wants to tackle counterfeiting, there are options available. If the brand wants to tackle consumer engagement, there are options available. The ecosystem is getting ready. I am pretty sure I can vouch from a substrate perspective, Srinivas can vouch for an inks perspective, Stephanie can vouch from a tapes perspective. The ecosystem is absolutely ready with the kind of solutions that is required, but we'll have to come together and act so that we are able to present that solution to the brand and to the consumer. Possibilities also happen only when opportunities get created, and I have a very small example to share. All of us go to shop in a kirana store, yes or no, right? Let's say organized retail, right? You have open groceries that is available in the organized retail, dal, chawal, poha, a lot of things that we pick get packed and stuff like that. So a brand owner came to us and said, right, there's a lot of mismanagement of labels that is happening when the loose grocery gets packed, right? It is a label that gets applied at the counter, right? You pick a half a kilogram, you weigh half a kilogram, a label gets applied there, and then you go and bill. But the jugado mentality that all of us have, that you pick the cheapest grocery that is available in the open shelf, half a kilo gets packed, it gets priced at 10 rupees. You remove the label, apply it on the most expensive grocery. Nobody is going to know what is happening, right? The machine at the billing machine at the end of the day is going to see what is the barcode, and it is going to look back at the system and say, is it a 10 rupee item or is it a 100 rupee item? That's all, right? I can walk away, I can bill for a poha, walk away with the most costliest dal, right? And the magnitude of these interferences that the retailer told us is enormous. Crores and crores of rupees getting lost because of this management. They do the inventory balancing at the end of the day. They know that itna to chawal bacha hai, itna chawal bik kaise gaya hai, right? So that kind of thing. So a simple label solution was made available to this brand, of course, in coordination with the printer, dye manufacturer, so on and so forth. And nobody knew that the label can be used for this possibility of preventing theft that can happen from a label store. And the brand saved so much of money. So the point I'm trying to make is that the more problems the brands is able to present to us, I think we can collaborate a lot more strongly to present to you a very, very active solution which can set the benchmark for the industry. That we are here to take the label from just a stationary print receptive surface to something that can be a lot more functional in the future. So in that spirit, Srinivas, what advancements on inks and coatings do you think will facilitate this functionality and the movement that we see around possibilities with labels?
I think apart from standard products or regular products, we also offer certain customized solutions. For instance, for premiumization, we have certain products for value addition for the printers, like raised effects, some glossy effects that you need, some metallization that is required. We have certain products for the printers for more value addition selling. That is there. Apart from that, in terms of sustainability, we have certain solutions for recyclability, like de-inking primer is one, or for wash-off labels, we have some solutions. To touch on sustainability, we have some solutions there. Also, someone wanted to have a compostable label, for example. Then we have some water-based inks which can comply to this compostable category. Yeah. Even in food packaging, a lot of advancements have taken place in recent times in the UV curing technology. We recently launched one technology in Label Expo called, okay, I don't want to name the brand name here. The uniqueness of the technology is the resin is such, it is inherent curing properties. So you don't need to add photoinitiators in the formula, externally, but the intrinsic resin technology itself will self-cure and cure. So what I'm saying is you don't have photoinitiators available in this UV recipe, which means more safe packaging for the consumer. So someone is looking for a food packaging. I think these type of probably recently evolved technologies can also help for them, to add value to the consumers.
Beautiful. All in the direction of enhancing what the label can do versus what it is doing today. Correct? All in that direction.
Correct.
Beautiful. Stephanie, anything on the tapes that you're seeing as new developments which will help the journey?
All right. As a tape supplier, actually our aim is to support the printers not only to achieve high print quality, but also to improve the process of process optimizations. I would do it this way. Yeah. So we offer a very wide range of products with different type of hardness and also adhesive and also design, so that to enable the printers to do the job well. At the same time, when you talk about the reusability, we also have a solutions we call twin lock sleeve, adhesive sleeve. Actually, this to provide sustainability, also enable the printer to reduce waste, cost, yeah, and also to improve the printability, especially for the long run. Yeah.
Beautiful. So, like you heard from almost all the panelists, that the label is ready to do more than what we are currently seeing, and please present us more problems, and we should be able to
Sure. I
solve
think that's
cater-
the right platform as a brand, what we should do and have the solutions.
Yeah, and before I switch gears to the Q&A, and if we have some more time, I have one more section, we'll come back to that. What I want to call out here is, it is just not printers understanding about the flexo that is important. Equally important is how designers are becoming aware of the possibilities with this technology. More often than not, what we get to hear is a beautiful design is created by the designer using the right creative elements. But can it translate into an actual print is the question that we ask ourselves. And we go back and forth doing multiple prototyping, multiple proofing, multiple substrate selection, multiple inks. And a lot of time is lost, and somewhere the perception gets created that I cannot get the best out of flexo. So it is important for the designers, brand managers, packaging fraternity to be more aware of what flexo can do in this ecosystem. That, I think, is something that we owe to this industry, and there is more education and awareness that we should be creating, without which we cannot unlock the possibilities. It has to start with the design, like somebody said. And if the designer does not know what embellishments can happen, in what kind of technology, under what kind of substrates, and can the functionality that the brand is desiring can be added in that context, without that complete knowledge, I think we are again getting back to a situation of give me the material at the cheapest cost, so on and so forth. So this awareness building in the industry is very important, and I would urge the organizers to consider inviting a lot more designers next time into forums like this, where they really are able to appreciate how the ecosystem is evolving and what they can be presented in the future. Okay. So with that, let me take some questions. I know I see a few hands already, questions, and then we see if we have some time. Manish bhai, Mike, please, one more.
Hello?
To the mics
Yeah.
slightly behind.
My question is not a question, but it is a question to Nagaraj and VP Jayachandra. So this is a label forum, and you are still comparing with the Gravier. So you still say that is comparable, the flexo printing is comparable to the Gravier. It's as Nagaraj told that it is not. Still, it is comparable. Why you are not saying it's 100% better than Gravier? And second thing, the label fraternity comes from offset to flexo, and you are comparing Gravier to flexo. In this platform, I think we should compare with flexo and offset, not flexo and Gravier.
Tough one.
Indeed, I agree with you. See, so after 25 years of flexo industry, we are still saying it is comparable, which word is not been acceptable to the printers who has many flexos, like we have 14 flexos, and still you are saying it's comparable. So it hurts the label printers. And when you say that the machine manufacturer says the flexo is still comparable, so you need to give me the perfect answer.
No pressure, no pressure.
It's a tricky question. See, when you see practically, we can
by the naked eye, yes, I agree, it's at par. But when you see technically, it's
Given a chance, so if you are a printer, which technology you will go for?
sir, I'm an engineer in printing. I love all.
No, it is not.
See, but that's a good prompt from Manish bhai. We speaking labels, and if it is labels, it is rigid packaging, and most of the times it is a naked bottle on which a label is applied, except for shrink, which is 360, or IML, which goes around, right? The expectation of the print requirements for a label will not be as high as flexible packaging, where the entire packaging is roto based. So from that sense, maybe I agree to him that we are there, and we can do more, right? So, JC.
Manishji, I think I differ. I'm sorry, I may have to defer to what you say. See here, yes, this forum you're talking about labels, but then Flexo as a process, I mean, it is versatile. I mean, we are talking about catering to all these segments. Yeah. So if you take specific to gravure, and if you say that we can't achieve gravure quality in Flexo, I completely defer to that. I mean, if you look at the short run jobs, even if it is the shrink sleeve or the IML, or even the latest trend in the industry is the laminates, short run laminates being moved to mid-web Flexo with UV. I mean, I think we are, I don't say we are at par, we are probably better than gravure.
Yeah, I'm 100% saying we are better. That's why I'm telling you why we are saying comparable. We are better than that.
We are better,
Correct. But
better than gravure.
when we are talking about labels, we should compare with offset technology to the Flexo technology.
I think if
so
you have to compare,
what is your take on where we are, we Flexo printers compared to the Flexo printers? Flexo quality, Flexo technology compared to the Flexo and offset. So don't compare with, on the labels, don't compare with the gravure technology, compare with the Flexo, offset technology. So what do you think? We have achieved that Flexo to the level of offset?
I would say better than offset in a lot of cases.
A lot of cases still.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Next question. Mike needs to go. Okay. Sanjeev ji.
Yeah, I have 5 late question. 2 from Mr. Dr. Srinivas. Are UV ink matching the sustainability requirements?
See, when we talk about sustainability, I know there are many aspects, biodegradability, regulatory changes, there's so on and so forth, right? Today, when we look at the regulatory point of view, there are UV ink technologies which are compliant, especially these low migration inks are today they are termed as food contact materials.
Okay.
So those inks are available which comply and are regulatory approved. Like for instance, German ink ordinance, UV inks are approved for German ink ordinance. So there is an exclusion list that keeps changing once in 6 months or a year. One needs to have a watch on that. UV as a technology is evolving and adopting to these changes that are happening.
Yeah.
Yes, UV
But
can be.
I think 70-80% printers are not using that inks which we are talking, low migration inks, because of the cost is high. So in that case, we are not maintaining or not matching the requirement of sustainability.
See, if regulation is imposed here in India, then obviously I think low migration would have become more important here. It happened in Europe because they introduced that. They've put that regulation in place. Therefore, low migration inks have to eventually be used there.
So for sustainability, we must use low migration ink, right?
See, sustainability is food, packaging, safety, regulation, not just biodegradability, okay? So I think there are a lot of aspects which are different. Yes, in terms of safety, health, yes, there are UV inks like low migration inks which are safe enough and can be used.
Okay, thank you. My second question is
One more and then we go back. After you finish. Yeah.
very important for this question. Yeah, please. We are hearing that Flexo is good for flexible packaging, right? So which inks are good for flexible packaging on the Flexo? UV based or water based?
See, flexible packaging, I would say, since the materials are plastics, obviously UV has an edge over water-based because UV offer you superior color brightness, uh, adhesion to different plastic surfaces. It has an edge over water-based for sure. But there are also water-based inks which are evolving, emerging trend that people want to use water-based inks on the wider flexible packaging applications also. That is also coming up. But UV for sure, in terms of print quality, has an edge over water-based.
But for food grade material, if we want to print, and then contact based, this low migration inks are not okay for that.
Yeah, you're right. Like I said earlier, even in curing technology like UV, there are inks now that are available for more food packaging, more safe for food packaging. They are available. See, again, not all water-based inks are food grade inks, no.
Yeah.
So within water-based inks, again, you have some exclusion list. So they have to be different. Like I said, for compostability, you have a different set of water-based inks to be used. Not all pigments will qualify under.
Would water-based ink have its
No,
own
it's a myth. We say that water is safe, but it is not so. So with water-based also, there are certain categories which we cannot use.
All right,
Okay, okay.
Sanjeev ji, बाद में करते हैं. There are
Okay,
more
okay,
questions.
okay.
There are more questions.
One question I think
We'll come back. We'll
is
come-
beneficial for all. Last question.
Sir, I would just like to iterate on what you just asked.
Yeah.
See, one of the choices for UV inks over water-based, it's purely the ease of handling that ink. See, today with wide web, I mean, if we are struggling to get closer to gravure quality, one of the reasons is because of the solvent ink. I mean, handling solvent ink is not as easy as you handle the UV inks. Same applies for water. And also, if you're talking about for using UV inks for food packaging, here remember this is on a laminate. So there is no direct contact of the ink with the substrate. This is not for monolayer films. Here we are talking about films which has got a barrier.
So one last question is
अरे
from
बस,
my side.
We'll come back to you, Sanjeev ji. We'll come back. Can you pass the mic, please? पीछे.
Sure, sure.
Thank you. Sameer.
So I have a very elementary question for JC. Hi. JC, according to you, because you come from pre-press, how many of your customers have a spectrophotometer in-house? And if they have one, how many of them even calibrate once in a year? Because you're talking LAB, delta E less than 2, etc. I thought I'll ask a very elementary question. Especially goes to the label printers.
Samir, you're actually embarrassing this entire fraternity sitting over here. I mean, to be very frank, for me, a spectrophotometer for a printer is as good as a stethoscope for a doctor. I mean, that's my comparison of a densitometer, a spectrophotometer. Yes, I can say 7 out of 10 converters don't even have a spectrophotometer. Even if they have one, trust me, it is safe, packed well, and kept elsewhere. And when I go for the fingerprint and I ask for this, where is your spectrophotometer? Yes, we have it, but where is it? It's in the dabba. Okay? Why they don't remove it from the dabba is because, no, it can get damaged. So why on earth are you even keeping that? I mean, today, gone are the days where we are going to, printing is no more an art. I completely disagree if anybody says that printing is an art. Today, printing is science because we print by numbers. So without a spectrophotometer, I think it is just banging in the dark.
Perfect. Thank you. One more question.
Hi.
We'll come back.
Good afternoon, everyone. Since this session is about labels, first part of my question was already answered by JC sir. Was that how do we decommoditize labels? Is by adding value addition is the way to go. but I really want your views personally from a brand owner's perspective, from pre-press, from tapes, and like from all of you, that do you see that happening? Do you really see labels getting decommoditized in the near future? Is it always going to be just a paisa battle, or do you see that there are some things with the improvement in technology from the press side or uh, other factors? Do you see that happening in India?
See, as long as you're not going to make the labels functional, for sure it is going to be a paisa battle. So, functional in the sense of, as we talked about, having security features or having, digitalizing it, that is basically you're integrating the digital world to the label. I mean, unless and until you make it more functional, it is definitely going to be a paisa game.
Yeah. Okay, two more questions if I can. Just pass the mic, please.
Water-based inks, you can use UV inks on the same press with
Yeah.
different drying chambers, you know.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that flexography is really a great benefit.
Perfect. So more versatility. Okay. Stephanie, what is Flexo to you?
Yeah, I would say this is the opportunity for sustainable printing.
Yeah.
Especially Flexo is very suitable for those film, thin film, stretchable film, and it also good for registrations, and also good for solid ink that solid print with very minimum ink transfer. So compared to other technologies, maybe you have challenges to do it, but in Flexo, actually this is a very good technology that's suitable for these kind of conditions.
Perfect. So that's a good start. Thank you, panel, for bringing it up, and for everybody in the room. Faster, future, versatility, more versatility, and if you need sustainable printing options, possibly this is the best technology to look at. So that's why we keep talking about Flexo and compatibility for it from a labels perspective. How I want to take the next 75, 80 minutes that we have left for this panel discussion is I want to paint a quick picture about the label landscape very, very briefly, and then we look at the panelists' perspectives on the developments, nuances, possibilities, and the success that they have tasted in the label space, and we'll have a Q&A to wind it up at the end of the day, right? So when you talk about labels, and I know many of you are experienced in this room, it is important that we recalibrate on the definition of labels. And when we say labels, this is the gamut that we are talking about. We're talking about pressure-sensitive labels. We're talking about shrink sleeves. We're talking about in-mold labels. We're talking about wet glue labels. We're talking about wraparound labels, and we're talking about direct printing. All of this is possible on a Flexo press, like many of you have already known. Each one of them has a very distinct advantage, and every technology has a place to play, and therefore more opportunities for you to go out and create a profitable business. Right? The latest estimate that we have on the size of the label industry globally is a massive number. We're talking about an opportunity globally close to 75,000 million square meters of material that gets consumed in the label space. Okay? So this is the quantum of opportunity that is available today for you to serve the markets. Right? What is more interesting in that data point is this laser is not working. Asia Pacific is almost 50% of the label space. Forget about Flexo printing in general. In the label space, 50% of the 75,000 million square meters that is available to serve belongs to Flexo, right? And like I said in my last slide, there are so many technologies. Pressure-sensitive labels, 40% of the market. Wet glue about 35% of the market, shrink sleeves about 20% of the market, and everything has a very distinct advantage in the way consumer demands and market needs can be met. Right? Quick view on where each label technology or decoration transfer can be useful from an application standpoint. And when you look at this chart, there is possibly a large set of applications that is listed on this chart, and technology that is compatible for this particular market segment. And what is important for you to recognize is there is a dot everywhere on this chart.
I think.
Yeah, it's been answered.
It's a
I
good question, actually.
Yeah.
See, now every equipment manufacturer is manufacturing the machine. Like every label will tell you a story
Right.
in future. It's hybrid presses with all the options, with different speeds, which can scan your QR code at any speed, 150, 200 or 300 whatsoever.
Yeah, it's been answered. I think the message. One last question.
Yes,
because
thank you.
We are falling short of time. Yes, sir, please. One of you. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, hi. My question is to JC. Since you touch base
Yes,
upon prepress, I just want to ask a basic question. What's the role of artificial intelligence in prepress for Flex? And the second question is, what's the role of digital for the complete panel? That's the reason I asked.
It was touched in the other discussion.
Okay, so.
And the second question, sorry. And the second question is for the whole panel. What's the role of digital in Flexo?
Okay, the role of AI. In fact, 2 months back, I attended this, they call it as the future of Flexo. You know, they have this yearly event. ESCO has this yearly event in Germany. So the question that I asked Mr. Joel, the president of ESCO, I said, today I have 250 people working in my company. How can I reduce to 25 people? And his answer was, just wait for another 1 more year. You can definitely achieve the goal. I mean, we are talking about a drastic change in the head count, and that is not possible without AI. And even if you're talking about today, in today's condition, I think I tell you, almost 60% of the work which is done in the pre-press is all automated. It's completely automated. And the sort of solutions that we have in the industry are pretty open-ended. So it is not that we are having a software which is like, which has a certain limitation. Here it's completely open-ended where we can customize it to our requirement. So a lot of repetitive work is definitely being automated. And I mean, I keep always saying, you know, let the donkey do the donkey's work and let the human being do a work which is where a human brain is required. So things are happening.
Perfect. So let's wrap it up, guys. What role of digital in Flexo?
Digital is always going to complement Flexo. I mean, I could be wrong, but then I don't think that digital is going to be a mainstream process in printing. It will always going to complement Flexo, especially Flexo. I mean, if you're looking at offset, yes, I think a lot of jobs, especially short-run commercial jobs, already moved to digital. But if you're looking at packaging, I think it is always going to complement because for example, if I have to go to Parul and Parul has 10 jobs in the basket, and out of the 10 jobs, I know that these 3 jobs are not going to make any money. I can't tell Parul, you give me only those 7 jobs, and 3 jobs give it to somebody else. She'll definitely show me the door. So the option over there is, I definitely do the 7 jobs in offset, I mean in Flexo, and the balance 3 jobs I do in digital, where I may not make money, but I'll definitely not lose money.
Perfect. Nagaraj, you have a person?
Completely agree. I think that as a brand, we do the same. It's a striking balance. What needs what priority at what point of time?
Yeah, like every technology has a space, right? So like we said already. Okay, thank you guys. I think we are towards the end of the time. I think it was a very, very insightful panel discussion. I would express my gratitude to the panelists. We did touch several points Hope you picked up some nuggets from this interaction. The key one being that to produce a consistent quality print job, it has to be an orchestra in action. It cannot just be one element versus the other. The future of the label, in my perspective, is very bright. The future of the label is intelligent. The future of the label is sustainable. The future of the label is functionality. The future of the label is consumer engagement. There are examples that we will see uncover in the marketplace with brands like Breakout challenging us to do things in the right direction. So I'm very confident that this technology is here to stay. Labels will see as much benefit as the other flexo processes will see. Packaging industry is bound to grow. You saw some numbers yesterday. While the overall global growth may remain at 4.5%, this region is very confident that the growth is in the zone of 10 to 15% from a label perspective. So a good business to be a part of, an interesting business to see how this evolves into the future possibilities. Thank you everybody for an active participation, and really appreciate the time. Okay, so before I let my panelists go, Manish Bhai, if you can help us with distributing the mementos, please. That's it. That's it. Stephanie. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Saab.
इनके डॉक्टर
Thank you. Thank you. Nagaraj. Thank you. So I'm told JC is going to get only hugs and blessings. So JC, we'll give you a hug. You had a you.
And if he can felicitate Mr. Manoj. If you can felicitate Mr. Manoj.
Thank you, JC.
That was a lovely
Wonderful.
moderation.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thanks. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye. Okay, one group picture with all the panelists. Nagaraj. Stephanie, come. Come. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
So the lunch is served downstairs and you can continue networking
Thank
there.
you, sir. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.